So forward slaloms you may have seen quite often before if you watch any skiing, or if you've even done any skiing. You'll see it quite often where they're on their 2 feet and they're doing curves all the way down the slope. Now we're on an ice rink, it's flat here, so we can't use the downhill gravity to gain our speed, so we're going to need to generate our speed with our own feet. Things you want to concentrate on this one are making sure that you keep those 2 feet together. It's quite difficult to keep your 2 feet together right at the beginning, but if you can keep those 2 feet together and you're doing your slaloms, it's going to be a much better slalom. So we're going to think about keeping our knees really nice and bent in this one, but we will constantly be rising and bending in this one as we use our pushes to get on that curve of the ice. Every time you curve, you want to make sure you bend and then extend as you change your edge, and extend as you come round on the curve. So bend and extend to come round on the curve. That's how you generate speed on these slaloms. It's almost like you're gripping into the ice and you're pushing against it to change your direction and generate some speed going in that direction. So if we do a few slaloms, I'm going to do a few slaloms coming up the rink here. So you want to make sure you bend and change direction, bend, change direction. Now you can also notice that I'm keeping my feet close together. They may come apart by an inch or two, but they should be staying quite nice and close together. Other things you want to concentrate on with these forward slaloms are your body. Your body is very important in this one. You want to get your leans right with a forward slalom. You need to be kind of like when you see a cyclist going around a corner, they really lean into the corner. Now we're not going as fast. When you go faster, you will be leaning more, but as we're starting off quite slow to begin with, your lean's not going to be as much, but you still want to think about getting your lean slightly into the curve every time you change direction. So you can see that I'm upright to start off with, and then I lean in to get my first curve, lean in to get my next curve, lean in, constantly leaning in. And you can see with my arms are changing direction to help me with that lean, and lean in, and lean in. Okay, so let's look at some common mistakes about the forward slaloms. I'd say number one common mistake I'd see are people getting their feet apart while they're doing this slalom, because it's a nice and easy mistake to do. It feels like you're doing a slalom, except we're going back to our forward swizzle, half swizzle pumps going down the rink. If you get your feet going apart, it doesn't become a slalom anymore, because this foot is almost in a straight line here doing it, whereas the other foot is doing all the pushing. The 2-foot slalom is where both feet are doing the pushing, which is why we keep both feet together, together, together. Some other mistakes that you want to avoid if possible are your lean. We talked about the lean already. You want to make sure that your lean is always into the circle. I see a lot of people not trusting the lean, therefore they almost lean in the opposite direction of where their curve is going. So you'll see something kind of like this. They're bending their knees, but they're trying to get around the curve, and you can see that it's not generating any speed whatsoever because my legs are trying to go that way, but my body's leaning out in this direction. So you want your body to work with your feet. If you're trying to curve to the left, then you need to have a slight bit of lean to the left on your slalom. Same thing for the right. And then I'd say the last common mistake, still on the subject of the lean, is I don't see any lean whatsoever. They're not leaning out, they're not leaning in. They're completely on top of their legs. Therefore, you kind of see, and you can see that even though my feet are doing something, I'm not really going anywhere. So you just want to make sure that you get your nice lean, you get your knee bend, and you're pushing against the ice. Push against the ice with my lean in, push against the ice.